Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Please do like and subscribe. It really, really helps, you know. Just tick what do you call it, the like box. There's a link to my book down there. Anyway, I want to talk today about what's happening with the new government, yeah? And this James Timpson, who is the prisons minister, and how the government making numerous statements on Radio 4 this morning. They were talking about how they were going to reform the prisons and they're going to start releasing people early. I believe they're going to reduce the sentences by 40% for people who are into their sentence and who are not convicted of violent crimes. Well, a lot of people are not convicted of violent crimes, but they are convicted of sexual crimes, so I think that would be a definite not getting out of jail ticket. And they're going to try and do something about it. Well, it's about time they did. But the problem that you've got, of course, is that the staff, it's over 40% of the staff in the prisons now are female. Now, how they cope with that, I don't know. Because you had serious sex offenders when I was working there who were walking on the normal landings. They weren't segregated. It wasn't in a special prisons for people who had committed sexual offences. They were just on the landings. At the Scrubs, we had a guy called Peter Cook. Now, Peter Cook was also known as the Cambridge Rapist. I've previously spoken about him here. And Peter Cook had this thing about dressing up as a girl. Seriously, whilst he was in prison, he wanted to have a sex change. So he got himself a white sheet, painted it in brilliant colours, yellow and blues and reds, like really badly drawn flowers all over this white sheet, took all his clothes off, and then wore this thing as a dress around him. So he had nothing on underneath except an enormous great todger, which he had, by the way. And of course he came out of his cell one day wearing this bloody stupid dress. All he got was his big woggly todger underneath it, grabbed me and tried to kiss me. Kiss me, Mr. Sutton, kiss me. That was when I spun him round, introduced him to the door frame and flung him back into his cell. But, well, that's all right for me, I could do that. But you get one of these hostesses, what are they going to do? And that's the big problem that's going to be faced by James Timpson, who is dealing with this now as the prisons minister, because he hasn't got the staff to do what he wants to do. Now, I previously mentioned that the pay rates are not sufficient to attract big, strong men. As I said, when I was working there, my last 12 months, it was 1984 to 85, my pay rate was, I think it was £17,500 for that year. That's the last complete year I did. And today, prison officers are starting on 25,000, I believe, at HMP Park. They're getting something like 30,000, but it doesn't really relate to the 17,500 that I got 40 years ago. I mean, 40 years ago, if I was getting 17,500, what's that the equivalent to today? 60,000, 70,000 a year. And it was difficult work, and it was dangerous work. It's always been dangerous work. But today we've got 40% female staff. They're walking the land-ins. They're going to get hurt. They are getting hurt. They're getting cajoled into actually smuggling drugs, bringing in telephones, mobile phones, and approximately one a week is ending up in the court system, sentenced to imprisonment, the cell. I mean, that's just adding to the problem, isn't it? But I heard on Radio 4 this morning that the Labour government, the new Labour government, are going to make an absolute determined effort to deal with the overcrowding in the prisons, because the Prison Governors Association has stated in writing to the Home Secretary and the Prisons Minister that within the matter of a month, maybe 6 weeks, there will be not one single prison place remaining available for the court to sentence people to. Now, one of the big problems we've got with the prisons, of course, is there are approximately 15,000 inmates or so on remand. That's people who have been taken into custody, charged with an offence, but are not found guilty. And because of the collapse of the court system, the criminal justice system, they are being held in prisons for indeterminate periods of time, going up to 3 years, 4 years, waiting trial. So they're innocent. And the problem, of course, you've got is, let's say that they really are innocent, they go to court and they get found not guilty. There's no way that you're going to get any compensation for that. Just say, oh no, that's the criminal justice system. What kind of a criminal justice system is that locks you up when you're not guilty of an offence? There must be a better way of dealing with this. You could use what they have in America called house arrest, so that people are locked in, effectively locked into their own house with a tag, one of these electronic tags. Do it more effectively and have a team of professional probation officers. And I would highly suggest that they use rather large and able men to do this. But sending little girls to do a man's job, it ain't on, is it? I still can't find my song, dear. Anyway, I'm going to read you a poem now. So, ding dong, ding dong, ding. Yeah, there you go. That's my equivalent of the song dinger. Yeah. And this is my favourite sonnet by William Shakespeare. I have previously read this on here, but I will do so again. Are you sitting comfortably? Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more temperate and more lovely. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Shakespeare was saying that though it may come hundreds of years, the beauty of that particular individual is captured eternally in those poetic lines. Do please like and subscribe. If you've not read my book, I highly recommend it. I know the author. It's me.